Hello, welcome. This video is as much lab as it is lecture. There will be a printed supplement to this. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of things, and then you'll need to follow along and complete the exercise that I'm going to show you. What this is all about is the university actually provides a web server for you. This is what they call a U-System account. This complements your work with HTML. The HTML labs that you're going to do with the text involve creating some HTML documents. But of course, if they're just sitting on your desk, they aren't reaching out to the world. So the University of Arizona provides some space that serves as a web server where you can upload your documents. And it is a web server, so people can get at these from anywhere that they have web access. In order to do this, you need to activate your U-System account. And then we talked in a previous lecture about a couple of tools that you need. Those tools are the FTP file transfer protocol application that allows you to move files between your desktop and the web server, and then the telnet, or what we call secure shell application that allows you to connect to the web server to give commands. So I'm going to show you how to access your U-System account, how to activate that, how to initialize your web server using the SSH protocol, and then how to download and use the FTP application. I'm going to show you this first on the PC and then on the Macintosh, so bear with me as I switch back and forth between those two platforms. First thing to do is to activate your UITS U-System account. To do that, please visit account.arizona.edu. You can read about the different accounts available to you. Some of you may already have this activated. Perhaps you've used the U-System account before, perhaps activated that in another class. You don't have to activate it a second time. As I say, visit account.arizona.edu. You can read the information here. You'll need to log in. Let me do that for you. Once you log in, you'll want to manage your accounts. I already have the U-System account activated. You'll see existing accounts here. If you already have it activated, you don't need to do so. Yours will probably show up, if you don't, here under Available Accounts. And what you'll need to do is click the U-System account. That will get it activated for you. I'm not sure how long it takes these days to get that activated. It used to take about 24 hours, but I think perhaps it's almost instantaneous now. In any case, the people to call if you have difficulties with this, or if you need assistance with this, or getting this software going, would be, let me bring up the other website here, the 24-hour help center. That's the 247.arizona.edu. If you have problems with any of the software that I'm going to show you, or accessing your UITS U-System account, these people are the ones that can help you with that. They will be of much more help to you than I or the activity Ask the Instructor discussion section. Go ahead and give them a call. That wouldn't be considered breaking the rules if you get help with them on this. So the next step after you get your U-System account activated would be getting the software. I can show you a couple of places for this with a Macintosh, and I'll get to that in a minute. It depends a little bit on which version of OS X you have installed. But I'll show you first the general site that you can go to at the University of Arizona to get some direction on this. And that's sitelicense.arizona.edu. And this is software licensing for U of A faculty, staff, and students. There's quite a bit of information here. This is perhaps where you got your license for the Microsoft Office software. Here we can click on membership and subscriptions for faculty, staff, and students. Types of software licenses available for faculty, staff, and students. You'll want to click on student software. The type of software that we're interested in today is here under SSH. And this has links to the file transfer software and telnet software that we're going to need to look at. For Windows, which is what I'm going to talk about first, there are two applications that you're going to want to look at. The first is PuTTY, which is the telnet or secure shell application, and the second is WinSCP, which is the file transfer client. We'll go first to open up PuTTY. I'm going to open that up in a new tab. This is a download from the vendor. You can click on this, and the one that you're going to want to download, I think, is this Windows installer. There are several versions here, but if you'll get this Windows installer here, this is the one that will install the program on your system. The other one we want to look at is WinSCP. Again, if we come back to our main page here, we can take a look at this, download from the vendor, WinSCP. There will be a beta here. You want to make sure not to download the beta package, but whichever is the current installation package is what you want. So click on that, download that, and get that installed. Now let me clear out some of these tabs, and I'll show you what those look like. So let me first bring up the telnet program, and that's the PuTTY for Windows, and I'll come back to this in a Mac and provide a link for you so you can jump into that. So the client here is looking for a host name. The host name that you want to type in for your usystem account is u.arizona.edu, and click open. You may get a message about a security thing, the key not being cached or something or other like that, and you can go ahead and say yes to that message. It's safe to get in here. You log in with your username, NetID, and your NetID password. So I'll go here and press enter. Note that your password will not echo any characters when you type this in. And you come here to a very cold-looking prompt. So I'm going to exit out of this now and come back, show the Mac users what to do, and then continue on from there. Now, for the file transfer software, what this looks like, once you get your account established and you want to transfer files, let me switch over to that, is the WinSCP software here. Again, you type in u.arizona.edu. You can enter your username and password at this point, or you can enter it after you log in. Here is the cache message that you might get. These are perfectly okay if you trust the host, and since we're logging into your server, you can go ahead and say yes. In the case of the Windows software, this opens up a two-pane system. Here on the left are the files on your home computer. You can navigate around just by clicking as you would your own file system. Here on the right are the documents on your web server. Remember that the documents that you want are going to be in your public.html directory, and it's simply a matter of finding files on your home computer that you want to transfer to your web server. So for example, if I am looking for this file, I can simply drag and drop this file over to the web server, and that's all that it takes. So let me go and show the Mac users what that's going to look like as well, and then that'll conclude my demonstration. All right, so here we are in the Mac side, and I need to show you how to get at these two applications. Let me first bring up the browser here, and we'll go to sitelicense.arizona.edu, and we'll go to the same spot here, which is types of software licenses available, and we'll try student software. And we'll go to the same SSH page. Now, there are a couple of suggestions for Windows, Mac, and Unix. We can again try the selections. Fugu for Mac used to be a great program that I would recommend highly. Unfortunately, it's no longer compatible with the latest versions of OS X. And in particular, if you've installed El Capitan, as I can, it no longer works. So I'm going to recommend a different program. First of all, though, let's get the Telnet or SSH software out of the way. The Mac comes with that built in. It's a command line utility, which means you need to get at it through the terminal. And many of you may not be aware that you have a terminal command line facility built into the Macintosh. It's under Applications. Let me show you where that is. First of all, bring up a Finder window, and then go down here to your Utilities folder. Let's open that up. It's down here under Terminal. Let's open up a Terminal window. This is just a straight command line. Many of you are not familiar with it, but when you connect to your web server, that's going to be a command line as well. And it has the SSH or Telnet command built into it, and it works simply like this. You just need to SSH, or for secure shell, and followed by your net ID. So I'll type in B Fulton, and then the @ symbol, and then the host. And the host in this case for your U-System account is u.arizona.edu. Now, you may get this message that the authenticity can't be established because of the RSA key fingerprint. This is similar to the message that you might get on the Windows system. Are you sure you want to continue? And you would go ahead and answer yes. And then it goes ahead and adds your ID and the site to an internal list of known hosts. Now you need to enter your password. That's your net ID and your standard net ID password. You enter that. You notice that it doesn't echo, so try to type it in correctly. And now is where we would need to actually enable your web server, and I have a separate set of steps. Right now I just want to get you into the system, so I'll document a separate set of steps that you need to type in here in order to get things going. So I'll leave that alone for now, and let's go ahead and look at the file transfer software. So let me just close this out. We can just close that out, and that will cancel the session. It'll ask if we want to close the window. We'll go ahead and close it, and that will close the session. So for the file transfer software, as I said, I used to like that Fugu software. It's no longer available. So the alternative that we're going to take a look at, and let's go back, is some software called CyberDuck. And CyberDuck works a little bit differently than the WinSCP does on the PC. So to get to CyberDuck, we can do a search for that. Cyberduck.io. It should be the first one here, but be a little bit careful. There's some places that may offer a secondary download that has some stuff in it. This is the correct one. You can also get it in the App Store, but if you get it from the App Store, you actually have to pay for it. It's like $25, and you probably don't want that. You can download the zip file. When you double click on it, it will expand the folder and it'll be there. What you want to do then is grab the executable and drag it on over to your applications folder. And when you do that, let's see, let me go back to Finder here. So I've just dragged the application over here. So when you run CyberDuck, it supports a number of protocols. We can open up connection here. You'll need to make sure to select Secure Shell File Transfer Protocol. That's the encrypted one. That's the only kind of file transfer protocol supported by the uSystem account. The server, once again, is the uSystem account u.arizona.edu. You can enter your username and password. That's your NetID and password. You can also add this to your keychain if you're using that on your Apple system. And connect. You may get the message about the RSA key. Do you want to cache it? I've already answered yes, so that number's in my system. If you get that message, you can go ahead and answer in the affirmative. Recall that public_HTML is where you want your files to be. As you can see, I've already got a number of files here. Now, this program works a little bit differently than the WinSCP does on Windows. This is a single pane application, but you can drag files directly from the desktop if you'd like, or you can open up a Finder window. Here I've got the desktop open in Finder, and I'm going to simply drag this file over to the window on the transfer application, and that will transfer the file. So that's a straightforward way to do this. And that concludes the file transfer and the Secure Shell demonstration on the Mac. And now we go back to the PC for the final little piece of this exercise here. All right. So for the final part of this exercise or lab, whatever you want to call it, you need to initialize the directory on your uSystem account to create your web server. They used to have a script that would do this for you. Apparently they don't support that anymore, so there are a few commands that you need to type in using your Telnet or Secure Shell terminal software in order to do this. So I'm going to refer you to this page. This has the script on it. This is uits.arizona.edu/services/u-system. Now, unfortunately, this isn't something that I can try out for you since mine's already initialized, and so we're going to have to see what happens with this. And again, if you have difficulties, the place to go is the support help desk at UITS. That's the 247.arizona.edu site that I showed you previously. You can call them, email them, whatever. I think they also support chat. Anyway, come to this page, and if you look down here, let me scroll down a little bit. Primary uses for a uSystem account. You'll see that they talk about creating a web page. Once you've successfully connected to the uSystem, you'll see a command prompt. Issue the following commands to set up a basic web page. And so here are the commands that you need to enter in order to get your web page going. When you first initialize your uSystem account, I think you're going to find that public_HTML directory is not there. And I'll show you how to check that in just a second. So you need to make the directory. There's a mkdir command. You need to set up the proper permissions on that directory. And then you can create a little test file to make sure that that's working, and then you can change the permissions on that test file according to these commands on there. So I will connect, and of course remember that in the Macintosh, on the Mac, you just run that Secure Shell command in terminal. So when you're logged in, you see this command prompt, and you can run this command if you type the letter L and the letter S. That'll give you a directory. My guess is that you're going to see mail, as I'm showing here, but you're not going to see that public underscore HTML. And if that's the case, then you need to go ahead and run the commands that are showing on this page. And you do that simply by typing them in exactly as shown. So the first one is mkdir, a space, and then there's this little tilde mark here, slash public underscore HTML. You would press enter. I'm not going to because mine's already there. But just follow these directions, and if you have a problem with that, then go ahead and contact the help desk, and they'll get you straightened out on that. So I'm going to go ahead and close this terminal connection, and we'll go ahead and say yes to close that connection. Now the question is how to test it. The location of your website is as follows. And if you make that file, you're going to see a little page that says whatever that message says. Here's my web page or something or other. I've already got a site there, but the location of all your directories, web directories, is the same. It's http://www.u.arizona.edu/ then that little tilde character, and then your net ID. Mine's B. Fulton. And so, oops, I spelled my name wrong. So when you type that in, that'll bring you to your web page. You'll see that little thing that says it works. I'm seeing the web page that I've set up for myself. And I hope that works for you. We will find out. Contact the help desk if it doesn't, and then I'd appreciate your report back. What I'd like you to do is get this going, get that little test file made. That'll be one of your assignments, and I'll check that, and we'll discuss your experiences in discussion. So thank you very much.